What's good, people? I know it's been a minute. I don't want to spend too much time on the intro though, so getting right into it, because I mean, y'all know what the deal is. So getting right into it, we'll go ahead and rank the, I guess, first blade of the claws, tiger claw, or tiger claws. For being the first blade of the claws, we'll have to rank it, of course, a cut above first blade. It's basically, kind of like the same thing, but with faster movement speed, less projectile range, and slower melee combo. And that's going to be a big factor in this tier list too, is how strong these claws' melee dash attacks are in particular, which can vary. Some of them have stronger melee combos than dash attacks, and then some of them have stronger melee combos and dash attacks than others, right? So like, I think for instance, I think Brawler, no, not Brawler, I forget exactly, but there's one pair of claws, right, like that has a stronger melee dash than another pair, but then a weaker melee combo for some reason. I forgot what it was exactly, but I got some notes here in front of me for this part of the tier list this time. That way I don't end up rambling for too long. But with the tiger claws, there's not really much to say. I kind of have to use this as a benchmark. So with wolf claws, it's basically like tiger claws, but of course with innate burning. So I want to put that in like the same tier, maybe a little bit above, because they're really not bad. The homing on them are really nice, and the dash continuous fire damage output, it's second only to the artillery claws. And I know it's kind of specific, dash continuous fire, right? Like, why not just rank continuous fire in general? But it's kind of hard to with the claws, because I mean, they all have super high continuous fire rate, but they kind of vary. For instance, right, like bear claws obviously has the slowest firing rate, and then but some of them, right, like hedgehog claws, just have exceptionally high firing rate. So, and I think it would be hedgehog at the top, bear at the bottom, maybe brawler in second, and everything else kind of in the middle somewhere. Pandora would probably come second to last behind these, just for the dash continuous, right? Same with raptors. They don't really, it's rapid, sure, but it doesn't really spray a whole lot of shots like the other ones do on the dash. So that's one thing for anyone that I'm gonna try to keep all these factors in mind when ranking these, but just some of these thoughts I kind of want to just put out there as I go for anyone that's catching any of my I guess inconsistencies, right? Like looking at some of the staves in the previous tier list, I'm thinking I might want to move some of those down. Like I might have been hyping Thanatos up a lot last time. Look, it's been like a whole month since I was talking about this game in general. So like, y'all have to forgive me. I had to kind of refresh my knowledge here a bit, but I'm thinking back on it, I might have been bugging with this one. But everything else, and this one too, actually, ancient staff, I might move to B. I was under the impression that it had exceptionally high shot cancellation for a staff, but it's actually just an average staff with weird shot properties. Shot cancellation being abnormally high is not one of them, but I guess you could still compare it to like Guardian Orbiters and playstyle, but as far as that shot cancellation value, I guess you're not so unique, my friend. So that'll be like the only thing I'll move at the moment. And other than that, I mean, the whole reason I made an SS tier was for these, for Brawler claws, because I mean, Samurai Blade's good, but like, come on, these These are just Brawler Claws is just some bullshit, bro. Oh my goodness. I don't know who was in the studio, who was in Sora Limited, and was working with Sakurai when making this game. Like, who authorized Brawler Claws, bro? Like, the range properties is just too much. I mean, I don't even really know where to start with this weapon, because like the movement speed, of course, right? Like, yeah, fastest in the game. You can blitz around the map even without lightweight and just pick up all the items on the map with double item, throwing boost, all that good shit. Item attack, which bypasses defense boost, so you got to run health. Trying to think of what else it has going for it besides the before I get into the range properties. Actually, really good melee too. I mean, of course, right, it being technically a pair of claws, but it's like above average. It's like just below Raptor claws, I think. Even like rivaling them, really. But at least base to base, mind you, my damage calcs, I tried at just resetting all my weapons in my game. Not all of them, of course, but just one of each in the game to base 100, so I can get the bare minimum damage calculation instead of trying to see like what's maxed out at each one, right? Just see what you're starting with, and then you'll know probably by the end of whatever you can max out on it, it's still going to be higher than the competition or whatever you're comparing it to. But yeah, with Brawler Claws, yeah, it's mainly with the range fire, right? It's so funny because the shot cancellation is ridiculous. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna pull that up real quick. Let me see. So yeah, the main thing before I even get into like the way the shots move and everything, it's just the shot cancellation, bro. I mean, this shit is ridiculous. How you got that much on continuous fire? It's the most in the game for continuous fire. For damn sure. I think it's only really rivaled by Divine Bow, and let me see, yeah, Divine Bow, that rivals it, sort of. Actually, yeah, Divine Bow looks like it surpasses it in some of those categories. I'm trying to see what else, in case I'm missing anything. It's not like I don't think this category is a huge deal, shot cancellation. But it kind of is when talking about Brawler Claws, just because of the spread on the continuous fire. Dude, it's ridiculous. I wish I had Citra, or actually I don't even know if I had the weapon in Citra. I was gonna say I wish I had Citra showed up so I could show y'all, but I mean, anyone that's played the game and seen the weapon, y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, the spread radius on that weapon's range fire is ridiculous. That's like the main thing I'd say that kind of tips it over the edge. The spread radius, I mean, and the walking speed, of course, is kind of like Ninja Palm. That would be another reason to put it in SS, honestly, like its matchup versus some of the other BS in the game, like eye track orbiters. You can just outwalk their shit. You can outwalk their shit and just sit there and hold down the trigger button while canceling the shit out with standing continuous fire. It's insane. You can do the same thing with dash continuous fire. It has a huge spread radius. It's hard to miss, but damage isn't really what you're going for necessarily. And I mean, depending on what kind of Brawler Claws build you have, right? Like, sure, yeah, it can go all out offensive, but then it's like, why not just use the Raptor Claws? But yeah, if you go all out offensive, the only thing that makes it stand out from there is using, at least in my opinion, is just using the continuous fire as kind of like a shield to approach, basically. Kind of like you would on a backward dash with like Crusader Blade or any other weapon with a slow moving projectile that you can hide behind. Except, yeah, with this you can just move with your projectiles that have some of the highest shot cancellations in the game, and you just get the approach for free. You get to blitz around the map faster than anybody else in the game, picking up all the weapons, double item on, all that good shit. Evasion only makes it better. Evasion to mobile speed is probably the most cracked out weapon in the game on it, besides maybe Ninja Palm again. And yeah, that's pretty much all I can say. I feel like I'm kind of understating it, but It's not really much I can I just wish I could show you guys, because I just don't have the game or the weapon in the game that I can pull up on screen here. But anyway, yep, that's Brawler claws. So I don't want to ramble on it too long. I want to say there might be something I'm missing here, but nothing really. Yeah, the idol's description definitely understates how good it is for sure. All the other attributes aren't as cool as their speed boost. Like, bruh, the shot cancellation is just as good as the speed boost. I mean, not actually, right? Because like, it's not #1 in the game, but you know, outside of continuous fire, which is, you know, given its properties, yeah, man, I can only say it so much. It's insane. Anyway, moving on to, let's see what we have here. Artillery claws. Yeah, I guess you would be the next, or really, yeah, the best range-wise. Range-wise, of course, we'll have to give it to Brawler claws. There's just no contest. Sorry, I keep messing that up. Brawler is not one of my favorite words to say fast. Range-wise, I'll have to give it to Brawler claws, but only because of its properties, right? If we're talking like damage-wise, and of course, these really, it would of course be Pandora with its backward dash, and because you can combo into it. But if we're talking just strictly more traditional projectiles, then yeah, these would have to have it for sure. I don't think so in the charge shot department, right? Like, it's still outclassed by Raptor and Bear Claws for like sheer charge shot damage, but I think it's pretty much like the bullet blade of the class when it comes to the continuous fire. So that's not bad. It's got that much going for it at least. And then actually, yeah, like I said, when comparing it to the where did I, oh, did I not? I'm tripping. I'm moving a little too fast. Yeah, like I said, when I was comparing it to the wolf claws, which I should have already moved in B tier. Yeah, its continuous fire output is really what sets it apart from the other classes, but I don't think it's quite A. I might have been I was trying to give it benefit of the doubt, but looking at it and comparing it to the other weapons, yeah, not quite. It still doesn't have the reach that Bullet Blade has, nor the range, or not the range, the power output. I mean, because it is nice that Artillery Claws' power actually doesn't change at all over a distance. That is nice. Plus, you get the benefit of a claw's movement speed, but I think the overall power is just weaker than the Bullet Blade. I haven't really compared them directly. I'm just going off of what I remember. I'm not a big Artillery Claws user, and I think it's because, yeah, every time I play with them, they feel underwhelming. They're not really, I don't know, maybe it's the hitbox animations and sound effects or something. I haven't really seen the exact numbers and calcs, but yeah, it just hasn't really been hitting like Bullet Blade, so can't really put it in the same tier. And that'd be besides Wolf Claws, that'd be the next weapon to compare it to, is the Bullet Blade. So anyway, moving on to Raptor Claws, which, if this was a tier list without the banned weapons, like if this was a Discord tier list and it would just have the banned weapons out of the list, then yeah, Raptor Claws would be S tier. But in the same tier list as these, nah, I'm sorry, you're only A, my friend, because I would put you in S with Samurai because you have better movement speed and range damage output. But I mean, Samurai still got that frame data, and I think Blades technically have longer reach, right? Like, I'm not really sure how the hitboxes and hurtboxes work in this game exactly. It's probably something I should have brought up when talking about the Blades, but yeah, you would think Blades would have more reach or bigger hitboxes than something like Claws, right? But that's probably deceptive. Those Claws be having like those big ass slashing animations, so if that's the hitbox, like, yeah, on some Grimjo Descaron type shit, then it's probably just too hard to even really visualize the actual range. But yeah, these, of course, I mean, you can't really go wrong with these. I'd say these are probably the most ideal melee weapons in the game, just because of the movement speed. Because yeah, sure, you're like just a cut below these in movement speed, but like not so much to where the melee difference doesn't make up for it, right? Like one's just slightly outclassing the other in this comparison. But yeah, the speed is huge, and of course the shot properties. Yeah, actually, just minus the damage output on its charge shots, pretty lackluster when it comes to overall range gameplay. But I mean, it's there, and it at least, unlike the majority of the claws, has a decent melee dash. I say the majority of the claws, really. Who am I thinking of in that example? I guess, I don't know, like y'all are straight. I guess I'm thinking of you. This one's really bad when it comes to melee dash. Of course, you to an extent. I guess y'all aren't really built for melee like that, but anyway. Yeah, it's just an overall solid weapon. I mean, the damage output and speed just can't be denied. I'm trying to think of something else to compare it to, but I guess next would be like bear claws, for instance. Oh, that's right, I'm on OBS, not my browser. Yeah, next would be bear claws, which, funnily enough, I would not put in the same tier. It's just, of course, the speed, the projectile speed too. I mean, yeah, the shots are really slow. They hit like a truck. I mean, they're the strongest out of the whole class when it comes to range game, but. Yeah, the speed on them are really slow. The firing rate isn't all that, and the charge time, of course, on the charge shots ain't all that either. And the biggest thing, really, yeah, with claws in general, the melee combos, they take too long. That's why you kind of really have to pay attention to the damage that you're getting out of the dash attacks with these, because. Yeah, I think these top out in both combo and dash attack. And bear with me as I reference my notes here. Yeah, as the strongest pair of claws in melee, they only really rival up to, like, let's see here. Yeah, I got up to like, say, Black Club level, for instance, when comparing it to other classes. Black Club, Kraken Arm, not quite Taurus Arm, of course, but you know, it's up there, so it's not bad. I think it's top 5, but I'm not sure. It's got to be at least top 10 for sure, though. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the bear claws. I mean, yeah, they're strong, but not that much stronger than the. I mean, really, they're considerably stronger than Raptor claws. I'm not gonna discount them like that, but yeah, it's just a movement speed. I mean, you can slap speed modifiers on it, and it's like using an arm still. So, at least in my opinion. And then again, yeah, you just have the slow melee combos, so you'd rather just go with dash attacks, or if you want to go with melee combos, or at least have them as an option, then yeah, I mean, yeah, I think an arm is safer than bear claws in that regard, so can't really rank them too high because of that. So yeah, moving on to, let's see, we'll rank the stealth claws next. That's, oh my goodness, I keep forgetting about this. Yeah, we'll rank the stealth claws next. That's up in my list. I'll have to put y'all in, honestly, D tier. Despite the niche, right? The innate invisible shots, which, I mean, yeah, you would think would go crazy, even despite the damage output or lack thereof. But I mean, it really is just. I mean, really, the crazy part is the lack of damage. It is just that crazy. Even if you try to go melee with these, which, I mean, of course, yeah, why would you? But even if you try to, they're not even that good. You could be trying to pull something off in the range department too, and then somebody pulls up on you. I mean, yeah, you got a pair of claws, but it'd be in your best interest to just retreat with these. And then of course, yeah, their shots weaken over a distance. There's like a 40-meter cap. Overall, it's just not that good of a weapon. I mean, it's the novelty's there, of course. Effect duration not lasting that long, or excuse me, gonna have to restart that one. Effect duration not getting that much of a boost, or excuse me, not giving that much of a boost to transparency, even at max, right? Like effect duration +4, from my experience, doesn't boost transparency's time that long, or even playdead's time that long. Actually, I think playdead is a considerable boost. It's almost like 10 seconds or something like that. But transparency, I didn't really notice anything, whether I was in the training room or in an actual match, which I'm not sure if it varies in the game at all. It's just one of those things that's hard to quantify, or the game doesn't really give you a way to quantify it unless you're, I don't know, unless you just got it like that, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I need Sakurai to give me my grids and my training room options that he put all in ultimate and shit, right? That's what I need. I can't just dig into the game and figure that shit out. But yeah, stealth claws, moving on from it, yeah, they're just not that great. Like I said, yeah, effect duration. If effect duration made transparency last a little longer, I could see you working with it. Like, then I had something to work with. But as it is now, yeah, it's just not strong enough, really. That's the only thing. Same thing with beam claws too. They're just not that strong. Sure, they got the reach, but you know, these hit harder. So it's kind of like, what's the point of these? And I mean, you can try to go mix, I guess, but I don't know. It's kind of like I mean, I guess they're kind of like optical blade, where like you could run a melee build and with the option, or just slightly enough ranged attributes to be annoying from a distance, like force others to approach you, but at the same time you can pull up or defend yourself if need be. So but you know, that's just theory crafting. I can go on all day about that. But honestly, just not one of my favorite weapons. I'm not really sure why it is for a lot of people. I mean, they look cool, I'll give them that, but yeah, they're just kind of meh damage wise and movement speed wise. I mean, yeah, their claws, that's that, really. Yeah, that's all I can say, really. Yeah, they're like tiger claws, but if tiger claws just traded range damage for range and distance, which it doesn't really need, because I mean, yeah, the range on these ain't really all that as is. So you know, it's just one of those things. I feel like this list so far has been a lot more, I guess, I don't know, I guess uninspired than the last two parts, because I feel like I had more to say. But honestly, thinking about it, it's probably just the same thing, really. I like to, I mean, I don't like to stretch these videos necessarily. It's not on purpose, right? But yeah, I just like to be thorough, really. But honestly, I do keep forgetting I have the Wikipedia pulled up. But I mean, really, this doesn't really help anything. It's just there if I want to have something to transition between, I guess. So anyway, moving on from beam claws, which, yeah, in my opinion, not all that. Although, yeah, I wouldn't put it in D tier. Yeah, I'll say it'll go C tier. Obviously, it's just, like I said, it's just tiger claws with the range exchange, basically. Yeah, not as bad as stealth claws. So yeah, moving on. Cancer claws, I forgot, what do y'all have really going for y'all? Not much range, good homing, standing continuous fire, do be moving. I'll give you that. Like, yeah, I'll give you that. Above average melee, but like honestly very comparable to Brawler and melee. I think they're like neck and neck, just below Raptor. So the melee ain't that impressive. These, I don't know, I think these are a popular, like if these were a popular casual pick, right, then these are the popular competitive pick from what I've seen. But I'm not sure why. I don't know what it is about Cancer Claws that people like so much. Besides the fact that the charge shots linger in the air, like that's pretty neat. Just having that lingering hitbox, kind of akin to Ancient Staff or Guardian Orbiters, but you know, in a more offensive way, not in the way that's meant to be defensive or to create like a barrier for you, right? But I mean, yeah, it's got that. It's got the continuous fire. It's just I guess it's just not one of my favorite weapons to use. It's just not as, I don't know, unga bunga as something like a Raptor Claws, I guess. So it's never really been up my alley, but I mean, I've seen it used to varying degrees of success. It looks nice. Yeah, but I have noticed it's real popular and competitive for some reason. I just never figured it out. I mean, it's strong, I'm sure. It's just, and I mean, yeah, the movement speed, yeah, it's just there. So I just don't see what's making it, what would make it A tier material to me. Yeah, it doesn't even have that sheer power speed that of a Raptor Claws. So it's just, I don't know. If anyone, like, as always, you know, I'm open-minded. If anyone wants to enlighten me on Cancer Claws in the comments, I am more than happy to listen. But yeah, for now, I just kind of have to go off of, you know, what I do know of them, which in my opinion is not all that. Hedgehog Claws, same with y'all, not all that. I'm not gonna do y'all too dirty though. I'll put y'all in C. As much as I kind of want to put y'all in D, just because how much y'all really disappoint me. Like when I noticed how, I mean, I'm sure it goes for anyone, right? Like when you see how many numbers are appearing on screen at a time with the continuous fire from these shits, like you're thinking, oh shit, man, this shit's about to go crazy. Like imagine putting some homing on this shit and landing every shot, like you would think. But yeah, I mean, then you look at the actual numbers, right? I'm looking at the quantity of numbers on screen, because I'm like, holy shit, yeah, that's the most amount of digits I've seen on screen at one time from any weapon in this game. But then you're like, oh yeah, these are all like 0.1 digits or some shit. So it ultimately adds up to like the same thing you would get from, say, Tiger Claws, which has slightly less or I guess, yeah, slightly slower or a slightly lower firing rate, but ultimately it would add up to about the same amount of damage per round, right? Like the before you get to the end of a continuous fire round and you got your character, before you get to the end of a continuous fire round and your character has to stop real quick, like they would have to reload in any other game or something, right? Obviously there's no ammunition in this game, but yeah, it's the cooldown between the standing continuous fire animation. Yeah, I mean, you can just test it out, and each round you'll get comparable damage between Tiger and Hedgehog. Only difference is Tiger looks like a crackhead, like just crazily racing to the top, and then you realize, oh, it's just like chipping away steadily compared to what Tiger Claws is doing, like, which is almost the same thing but more efficiently, I guess. So I don't know, it's just working so hard, but for less. I just don't get it. Like, you get a Babel Club's charge shot worth of consecutive hits out of like a single continuous fire dash, sure, but it doesn't amount to much, you know what I'm saying? Like, imagine a Babel Club, each of Babel Club's hits just did like negative 0.1% of damage or some shit, and then ultimately added up to, I don't know, a standing charge shot from this thing or something. So yeah, I mean, it's cool, but and then of course, yeah, it has the movement speed. I think it's the second fastest in the game behind Ninja Palm. It's probably tied with Ninja Palm, I think, but yeah, second fastest behind Brawler Claws. So I mean, it's got that going for it, but other than that, yeah, nothing too remarkable. I just can't rank it below the benchmark, I guess. So I was gonna say S tier, but we'll put it in A for now. My mind might change later. It is really good, of course, right? Like nothing else has that 3-hit melee combo into the backward dash. That backward dash is really strong. I didn't even really know about that full combo that I see Chrome Noir do on his streams, where he summons the meteor shower after the backward dash, freezes the target, and you just get the most amount of damage. That shit racks up so fast. I think you can even chain a melee dash at the end of the meteor shower, because the target will still be frozen. That, I mean, that's, you know, by that point the average light versus dark fighter will be dead. But yeah, on pit, that shit does hella damage. But other than the backward dash, its overall range power isn't really all that. I mean, it's basically Tiger Claws, but with slightly different dash continuous fire. That's about it, really. The homing on it's pretty good, I guess. But yeah, that's about it. Really bad melee dash. I think probably the worst out of all the claws, minus artillery. But yeah, not really much else to say. I mean, it has the strongest ranged attack out of all the claws. Solid melee game. Nothing else, of course, has that combo setup. It's really strong. Yeah, it's just really good. I mean, if anyone that's watching this video, if y'all haven't seen it, just go click on any one of. I mean, it's not even, dude. I think that's apparently just been a thing I didn't know about. That's all I got pieced up by it on stream. So yeah, it's really cool though. Yeah, you just piece somebody up with the 3-piece and backward dash, freeze them up, meteor shower. That shit does hella damage. Alright, y'all, so this is the last part of the recording. I had to stop the first one because my PC was acting up for some reason. I guess I just had to restart it. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I just left off with Viridi Claws, which I don't really have a whole lot to say about. It's just not a weapon I've used a whole lot. And again, my apologies for anyone else expecting more of a expert opinion on these tier lists. It's just kind of hard to be real specific. I mean, these weapons generally play the same, so if I just play with one and I just don't like how it feels, I'll just pick another one. So might be underselling Viridi Claws like I did with artilleries and cancer. They're just weapons I don't use a whole lot, because I think, you know, why use these when this exists, right? Like melee wise, at least. Range wise, you got brawlers, you got artilleries, Pandora even. So but really Pandora is only really different from the backward dash standpoint. So it's basically a melee weapon, or like up close. So yeah, if you want it like more traditional range play though, I mean, you got brawlers, of course, top tier. Artilleries, you're getting the most damage out of bears, of course, and then the movement speed from Cancer Claws is nice, plus the lingering shots. So, and I think, let me see, does seems for charge. Oh, okay. I thought Viridi Claws had similar shots to, or charge shots to Cancer Claws, where they lingered in the air. I think they just look similar though. That's why I might have thought that and jumped the gun. But I mean, yeah, even the idle description, there's not really much to go off of. I don't notice a particularly strong homing ability, at least not like with Wolf Claws. And I mean, yeah, the charge shots, or not the charge shots, the continuous fire do go crazy. Like, I've seen people just get shredded away and O-code by a single forward dash from these things. So that's something. It's probably the best in this category for like dash continuous fire. Like I said, I think I got the most damage out of Wolf Claws, but I may or may not have landed all the hits on Viridi Claws. I forget exactly. So I'm just trying to think of something that has going for it. Like I tested pretty thoroughly, and if my notes are telling me right now that I got the Wolf Claws is the highest in that particular category, I have no reason to really doubt it. But Yeah, I was just trying to think of something to give Rudy Claus since I don't have a whole lot to say about it. I mean, the innate status is nice, but it's not the only weapon in the game with innate paralysis. So yeah, I guess just C tier, honestly. Yeah, I'd have to compare it to like Tiger Claws. I don't really know what else it'd have going for it. Really, I'll give it B tier. I'll give it B tier. Cause it's not like these two, which are basically Tiger Claws, but they trade off either damage or range for firing rate or range in this case. So yeah, other than that, yeah, Rudy Claus is like Tiger Claws but with innate paralysis, better homing, stronger continuous fire. So I'll give it that. I guess it is just a more souped up version when you're looking at it. So, but again, I might even be underselling Tiger Claws here because it's, again, not a weapon I use a whole lot comparatively to the top tier claws. Which is funny, I thought I'd have more claws in the A and S tiers going into this initially, but yeah, funnily enough, it so far has the most, yeah, probably the most in the C and D, and the least in A, but the only one in double S so far, so I guess it kind of balances out. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up and move on to what we got next. Expose. Yeah, I'm gonna try to. Y'all know me. I'm gonna try to make it not too long from now. But yeah, see y'all when I see y'all. Appreciate y'all tuning in as always, and catch y'all next time.